Hi there guys, an update on the TIE fighter on Jakku desert scene, which there's been a little bit of a gap in. The reason for that being that I was focused on the Tiger Tank Kelly's Heroes build, which I needed to complete. And as I say, I'm kind of doing the Sherman as well, and just with a possibility of adding that to it, but that's more just of a fun kind of thing. But in the meanwhile, I've been looking at the TIE fighter and sort of scratching my head a little bit as with regards to what I'm going to do regarding creating the base. And you'll notice since the last video that quite a bit seems to have been done with the model. It's not actually as much as it appears. It's really just a straightforward case of a bit of painting, a little bit of an oil pin wash, and a gunge wash, and then just today I have been working on making the base and cutting out some slots for the TIE fighter's wings to go into. And what I'm going to do, because I quite enjoyed doing the base for the Tiger Tank diorama that I did, this is going to be more of a vignette really than a diorama, because it's not actually telling a story as such. It's basically just replicating a scene, which is where the TIE fighter is in the sand on Jakku, and Finn gets thrown clear and then can't find Poe, and he thinks he's died, and then obviously finds out later in the film he hasn't. Apologies if I've just spoiled that for anybody who's not seen it yet, but hey. So as I say, I quite enjoyed working with the polystyrene to make the last one, so I'm sort of using that to begin with, and then I'm going to try coating that, and I'm going to probably get some scenic sand. I think I've been sort of umming and ahhing about what to use for this, and if I can use something that would replicate sand, and there's been a few suggestions from here and there which are quite good, but I'm sort of thinking at the moment it would probably just be easiest to go ahead and get some scenic sand for my first go at a sand based diorama or vignette, as it were. So what we've got is the model as it's going to appear on here. There are some slots I've cut into the back of the vignette base, which the broken parts, a couple of broken parts of the wings are going to be stuck into those, so they'll be standing proud. And then some of the smaller pieces are just going to be glued down onto the base so that they're stuck, they're static, laid flat kind of thing. So obviously some of them are a bit bent and mangled, as you would expect with something like this, where it's kind of hit the ground. What I've done here is I've cut slots for the wings to go into. This one at an angle because it's broken from the spur there, and I've cut a little divot under the TIE fighter body for the body to sit into, like it's partially sunk into the sand. So that's going to be fixed, and then sand sort of scattered around this. Then what I'm going to have to do is fix the model in place and then build up a little bit more sand around it to get that to look a bit more realistic. So that's going to be a learning experience. We'll see how that goes. I'm hoping it's going to look quite good. As regards to the model itself, I'm just going to zoom in now and we'll have a look at a few sort of little bits on the model itself. So right here we're looking at the right hand wing, and you can see if I just sort of pan over, we've got the damaged spars, the twisted and bent bits, as you can see up here, and you know, bits of the solar panels broken away, to replicate, or to try and replicate what you saw in the movie. And because this is reversed to your typical TIE fighter, where rather than a grey centre and black solar panels, it's got black frame and white solar panels, doing a pin wash to bring out this detail was going to be a little bit tricky, but handily, because it's in a hit the desert kind of scenario, what I did was, using a variety of oil paints, I think it was burnt umber and white primarily, I made a sort of grey browny pale sandy coloured thinned oil wash, which I used as a bit of a sludge wash, and then a slightly thicker one as a pin wash to go into the detail and pick out the detail, and I'm actually quite pleased with how that looks. I wasn't sure how that was going to work, but I'm quite pleased with how that came out. And then if we scoot around to the body, you can see that I've done a similar sort of thing here, pin washing all the lines, and obviously the body's been painted in black, and it's had this section over here painted in red, as the new order TIE fighters are. Obviously it's not a new order TIE fighter, it's only a single seat TIE fighter, whereas the new order ones are obviously twin seat. They've got a seat behind for a rear gunner, but I'm not really going to be sort of that picky about this. I'm happy enough with that as it is. So the windows have just been unmasked. The interior is just plain bog standard grey, for the simple reason that's going to actually have smoke coming out of there, and I'm not going into detail because it would be smoke damaged anyway. It's crashed into the desert, things are broken apart and the thing's wrecked, so I'm not bothered about the interior looking accurate, as it were. So that's where we're at. Same thing with the other wing, and that's currently where we are with this particular build. So hopefully the next one will see a bit more work done on the base. I've got to seal this and then find some material that I can coat it with a bit, and then see about getting some sand. And from there it shouldn't be too far off. I think sort out the base, and then I've just got to figure out how to get a smoke trail from the actual TIE fighter itself. So so that's where we're at with this one. And stay tuned and keep checking back, and please join us for the next video. So thanks for watching.